take a little moment to just check in. You could sit any way you like, cross-legged, kneeling, any position that feels comfortable. And yeah, closing the eyes if that's feels good to you. And take a moment to just land here. What is present and alive right now, right here? Are there any physical parts that draw your attention maybe? What is the general weather of your body? What's the mood of the body? What is it like to breathe? How is the emotional landscape? How busy is the mind? Or how calm is the mind? And what is it like to just be here for a moment? Is that comfortable or easy, or is it a little bit not so comfortable, not so easy? How is it for you at this moment? Just attuning to your sense of being here in this space. Good, and then you can slowly allow your head to move forward. And feel the length of the back of the neck here, meeting the sensations here. And then slowly letting the head rise back up. And you can open the eyes. And we'll bring the hands together and entwine the hands behind the head. And providing like a little cushion for the head to rest into. And the next time you inhale, your elbows can go wider and your chest can expand. And then on the exhale, you can release your elbows forward, like you're letting the weight of the elbows drop forward, the weight of your head drop forward, and you're curling your chest in. And then the next inhale comes, and you slowly, gradually let the front body open up. And continue with this flow for a few moments, completely taking it at your own pace. Noticing the sensations in your entire spine. So the moment your elbows widen, you might feel you arching your lower back. You might feel you're rocking a little to the front of your sit bones. And when you curl in, you might notice that you're leaning a little bit more towards the back of your sit bones. Your whole spine is rounding. So keep going with that for a few more moments at your own pace. Meeting your spine, meeting the sensations in the spine. Good. And completing one more round of curling in. And then this time as you come back, try to find just a very neutral place. So where you're not arching, you're not rounding. Where the head feels just suspended on top of your spine. And then you can turn your hands on the crown of your head and imagine you're holding a little bowl with your hands, you're forming with your hands a little bowl. And when you're ready, you can slowly lift that bowl up and without straightening maybe the arms all the way, just keeping that sense of little bowl. And then letting the hands come back down. So we're pulsing this a few times. Yeah. And notice when you want to breathe in and when you breathe out, probably you will find that the inhale wants to quite naturally happen with the extension up. And the exhale happening with the hands floating back down. And see if the breathing can be invited. So what happens if we inhale and we kind of, it pulls us up. So if we can, instead of being pulled out of our seat, see if you can draw the inhale and invite it down into your lower body. And then the exhale is coming up towards the crown. So the inhale travels down. Exhale travels up. That's kind of opposite of where your hands are going. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So we're inviting the inhale and exhale this way. Maybe one more time. Yeah. And then letting your hands slowly release. It's still keeping the arms up. And maybe you feel a sensation of heaviness, of like, I want to bring my arms now down. And see if you can let them, imagine your body is like bee wax. So on the crown is the flame, and the wax is slowly melting down. So it takes its time. So let your arms unwind. Rather than just moving them, let them melt gradually down. There's a sense of melting down, like a warm wax that is melting down the body of the candle. Feeling maybe the sensation of ground through your hands, like a heaviness. And once your arms are all the way down, you can bring your hands forward to meet the ground. And here, maybe you want to close the eyes and making this contact with earth beneath you. Like you're greeting the earth. Maybe giving and yielding the weight of your trunk into your hands a little bit more. And the more you yield into the contact of your hands, there's like a sensation of an internal current. It's like, imagine your arm, you're like a plug, like a device. When you plug it into a socket, there's like energy flowing through the device, through the charger, let's say. So you're plugging in your hands into earth and receiving the energy of the earth through your arms into your chest. And then on the inhale, let yourself melt a little further forward and start to walk with your hands forward a little further, so you find your next spot somewhere forward. And then you pause, and then imagine again that image of plugging in a charger into a socket. So you're yielding into the contact of your hands, you're reaching into earth, and then you're receiving the energy of earth through your arms into your body, and this energy can spread into your body. And then taking the next step, walking maybe a little further forward with your hands. Pause here, releasing your head. Yield your hands into the contact. Soften your palms. Plugging into the earth energy and receiving the energy through your arms into your body. And then starting to walk back up, gradually, step by step. Taking your time. And once you are back to upright position, pause for a moment and just feel what you feel here. What is it like to be in the body now? Beginning this gentle sway from left to right. Like you could imagine you're like a grass leaf in a warm wind, and you're just letting yourself sway with those current of the air. And becoming aware of the places in your legs, in your lower body that you're leaning into. What would it be like to lean a little further into those places? It's like you're resting into your side. You might even roll a little down, side to side. So getting that sense of side to side. Maybe you want to even land with one forearm onto your leg or onto the floor. Finding a sense of rest, resting into the movement. Very nice. Keep exploring that sensation of leaning from side to side. And then slowly coming back, very gradually back to center. It's like a gradual, like the wind that breeze slowly comes and you're finding a moment back to still point. From here, let's try a rotation, so twisting to one side and then coming back and twisting to the other. So noticing what that's like to twist. And sometimes when we twist, we tend to use our arms a lot. We kind of pull ourselves a little bit externally from the hands. So do that on purpose. So just getting that sense of what that's like, to kind of use the hands to twist. And then we can come back to center. And this time, inhale, let your arms float up. And this time when you twist, just releasing the arms wherever they go. And inhale, floating back to center. And releasing. So it's a little bit different sensation when we don't use the hands as much. It's more like, okay, I'm just going as far as my mid section goes. Does that feel nicer, or does it feel a little frustrating? Like, oh, I wish I could go deeper, but my body only takes me this far. Just as a curiosity to explore. One more time, going to each side. And then coming to center. And this time the arms can go around to the back. And you lean your weight into your hands. And lift the hips forward, opening for a moment. Exhale, coming back down. Drawing the knees up and the arms forward round. So the arms curl in. And then spreading the arms wide again. Lean into hands and open through the front body. And now the invitation to really follow for a moment your own pace with it. Find what's comfortable for you. Within the frame of this little flow. How long do you want to linger along the way from one shape to the other? How long does it feel pleasurable to stay in the shape? Maybe one more time. Good. And then we're going to change the crossing of the legs. And pause for a moment. Maybe closing the eyes again and feel what it's like to be in the body now. What sensations are here? What feelings are here? Good. And then cross again your hands and bring your hands back to behind the head. Inhale, the elbows widen and feel the muscles engaging in the back body. And then gradually disengaging through the back side. Elbows come forward, rounding your spine. And keep going with this flow. So this is where we started. This whole sequence, this whole round. And what does this feel like now? Maybe it feels different than when you first started the movement a moment ago. Maybe your spine started to feel a little freer. One more time. Coming back to center where it feels the head is just suspended on top of the spine. Turn your palms so facing up, and you're holding that little bit of a bowl, and slowly lifting that bowl up and inviting the inhale to draw down into the belly, and the exhale lifting up as if you're exhaling out through your crown. Inhaling downwards, exhaling out of the crown, and then following that a few rounds at your own pace. Last time. And then the arms can go up and you release your fingers and feel for a moment your fingers in the air, your arms, and like melting wax melting down the candle. The arms slowly unwind down. So it takes the time it takes. And for a moment your hands can just land on your legs. Bring the hands forward at any distance that is comfortable for you. Meeting the earth, plugging in your hands, receiving the upward current through your arms. Taking it a little step further forward. Meeting the earth, plugging in your hands, receiving the upward current. And maybe if it feels comfortable, stepping the hands even a little further forward. Plugging in your hands, receiving the upward current. walking with the hands back gradually. Taking your time. And once you are back, imagine a soft breeze that moves and sways your spine, and you're just giving into that sway. Letting yourself enjoy this kind of more like a free and flowing movement. Gentle, warm breeze touching your skin. And noticing the points of contact in your legs and in your hips that are shifting. So as you go to one side, what would it be like to allow your weight to drop a little further into the points of contact? It's like you're rocking a little bit into them. You can even support with one forearm. Even one sit bone can completely peel off the ground. Notice the sensations of massaging the hips. Yes, and if you find a sweet spot somewhere, feel free to rest into that spot for a moment. Good. And slowly finding your way back. The arms can lift up, maybe starting this time from the elbows lifting. Then the wrist lifting, very relaxed in the palms. And then turning to one side on the inhale and exhaling the arms down. And the inhale brings you back and turns you to the other side. And exhale the arms down. And just playing with that few moments, just very easy. So we're not really going to the 100% maximum. It's just like trying to find the ease through this movement. And even the shape of your arms could vary to whatever feels comfortable. Maybe the shape can be a bit more round rather than linear. Going one more time to each side. Good, and then the arms float back up. This time the arms can land around the back. Lifting the hips up, opening through the front body. Lowering back down and then wrapping your knees and your arms around, rounding. And then like opening a curtain and then the chest and the belly and the hips go through that opening. And then wrapping back. It's like you're closing the curtain back. Or maybe with this image of a curtain, like a big, when you have these big curtains, it's like slowly the light of the day is coming in. And when the hips come down and you slowly close the curtain back and find yourself back in the safety and the comfort of your cave, of your the dark. It's like both are good. It's not like one is better than the other. We're just here going both ways, so we have the capacity to open into the space and widen, and also the capacity to draw back, to draw in. One last one. Good. And then pausing here for a moment. Your hands can rest. Maybe the eyes close. And receive yourself here. Receive everything that feels activated, enlivened through the movement. So there's some areas in your body that start to speak to you through the language of sensation. And give yourself a moment to just listen to those sensations that arise. Good. One more breath here. And then you can open your eyes and extend the legs forward. So we've been cross-legged position for a while now. So let's move a little bit in a circle with the feet. Letting the knees, so the hands can rest on the knees. And the knees draw up and down and to the other side. And feel how you're shifting weight on your hips. Good. And then changing direction. And as you're beautifully exploring, there's this spiral of the spine that really comes quite natural with that movement. So what would it be like to do that, to follow that impulse of a spiral? So that it could become a little wider. It's like you're rolling on the bowl of your pelvis. And again, whenever you feel to change the direction for a moment, you can try the other way. Okay, good. And then from here, you can extend the right leg and bring your left leg into your chest. And let's have here a little rocking. So, feeling here the weight of our bodies leaning back and then coming forward. And then the foot can come down and the left hand comes around to the back. And here we can try lifting up. Yes. And then coming down. And the right hand comes down and lifting the other way. So we get even more space here. And back down. This time cross your leg around and twist to your right. And then untwist and go to the other side, twisting the other way around. Okay, and back forward. And we come back to the knee drawing in. And here you can hold the foot. And try with extending the leg a little bit or a lot, depending on what feels good. And just having a little rocking from side to side with that. So the leg can be totally bent, that's fine. Or it can extend wherever is your place where it's comfortable. And then rocking a little forward and backwards with it. So that's a different sensation. Mm-hmm. Good. And now holding with the right hand, the left hand can come down behind you. And then you can go back to the side to side. And with the arm down, we have more possibility, like more space. Okay, good. And then holding with the other hand. So now the left hand goes down and the right arm. And this is another sensation of holding the foot with this hand. And then coming slowly back forward. And here, pause a moment. And you can look at your leg. But then you can also really feel for a moment. If you feel the left and the right leg, and how do they feel different? What's the contrast between the left and the right hip? Good. And you can open the eyes. For me, the way that feels is like the leg is kind of belonging. The left leg feels like it more, it's like inside the hip and it feels it belongs. And the other is like, oh, I'm not comfortable here, help me. Okay, so let's see what happens with the other leg. Might be another story altogether, but just with a curiosity. So starting with the leg in and rocking a little forward and a little back. Just notice the shape of your pelvis, the back of the hip, and you're rolling towards the back and the front of the sit bones, just feeling the shape of your sacrum on the ground. And going a little side to side. as well. Okay. And then the foot can come down. And first the right hand comes to the back. And then lifting up here for a moment. And on the exhale, you can come back down. And the other arm comes down. And this probably will feel more space lifting up this way. And lower back down. Crossing over the foot and twist. Untwist onto the other direction. Coming back to center. And this time the foot holding with the two hands the foot and trying out, even bending and extending can be nice, or just rocking forward and back. And going also side to side. Okay. And then right arm comes down. Turning with your belly looking over to the right side. And then the belly, the navel turns back to front. As you hold with your right hand, left hand comes down and navel turns to the other side. Good. And back to center. And slowly the leg comes back down. And then pause here for a moment. Just feel the sensations in both legs. Hands can come around to the back. The feet to the ground. And the hands can be any angle that works for your shoulders best. So more back, more in, whatever feels good to your shoulder. And then lifting up to the tabletop for a moment. And lower the hips back down. Drawing the knees in, curl and draw the shoulders towards your knees. On the inhale, slowly unfurl and lift back up. Exhale, lowering slowly down. And this time the knees come in, also the arms curl in. So you draw the arms inward. And then unfurl and open the front. Let's do that one more time. Okay, and this time go a little forward and back. So you're pulsing a little bit the tabletop, lifting the heels up. When you come forward, lifting them. Good. One more time. And then we're going to bring the hips down and come into a kneeling. And for a moment, let yourself just arrive here, just feel like, okay, I'm taking a break now, and just listen here for a moment to the sensations in your body. Good, and then you can open the eyes. The gecko just gave us a little rhythm, bringing the rhythm to our pause. Let's come onto the knees. The hands come onto the groin, and we do a just little spiral. Just exploring this little spiral, so the hips come forward, back, behind, and maybe gradually this spiral becomes wider. And then you can change and spiral the other way. Good. And we'll sit back. The arms come forward for a moment. The arms roll in. And then you inhale and go to one side. So let's say left hand coming down. And you open the hips, right arm lifting. And forward. Going over to the other side and lifting the hips here. So we go side to side for a few moments. One more time each side. Good. And then the hands come forward. And you roll forward and open through the front. And the feet lift. Roll slowly back. And the hips come up for a down dog shape. Inhale your heels up. Then exhale your heels back down. And now gonna come forward to a plank. So the heels lift up and you round your back, coming forward with the shoulders over the wrist. Then the knees come down. You inhale, glide your hips back. Exhale, ripple with your spine forward, round. And then open to the front. And we're doing this a few times. So inhale, glide back. Exhale, open through the front body. Inhale here. One last time. And ripple forward, opening through the front body. And then back to a down dog. And in down dog, lean from left to right. So you shift with your hips over to one side and lengthen to the side of the body. Feel your side of your rib cage, side of your waist, side of the hips. Good. And then bring your right knee forward, lowering down to the pigeon. And then here, going a little bit side to side again, like that breeze moving like a grass in the wind. Slowly making your way forward maybe. And remember how you were leaning from side to side and rolling? Letting that happen also here in this shape. So you roll all the way to one side, roll all the way over to the other. Good, and then roll back to center and pause for a moment. And just rest. And then next you can come back up. And come back to a downward dog. Swaying again from side to side. It's like you really shift the hips over to one side, lengthening to one side of the trunk and shortening to the other side. And then come forward to plank. Bring the knees down. Inhale, glide the hips back. Exhale, round your spine and ripple forward to open through the front body. Inhale here. And then repeating this 2-3 times more. This flow at your own pace, at your own timing. Finding your rhythm through it. Okay. And then the last time you're driving the hips back, you can go back to down dog. Bring your left leg forward. And like a grass in the breeze, gentle sway from side to side. Maybe coming down on the forearms if that feels good. And next, trying to really give finding a bit more yield. So you're giving your body over to one side, so you're rolling over from side to side in this shape. Good, and come slowly back up. Into one more down dog. For a moment, just breathing here in the shape of down dog. And then cross legs the center of your mat. Coming to sitting. From here, roll all the way down onto your back. And bring your arms up in the air and the knees bent. And now imagine that there's a rope hanging from the ceiling. And with one arm you're reaching up towards that rope a little higher up, as if you wanted to pull the rope. And the shoulder that same arm that is lifting up, let that shoulder peel off the ground. And then change and reach with your other arm up. So imagine you're pulling on that rope and going from side to side, and let your trunk roll on the floor. Let your head roll on the floor. Disentangling any tight places between and behind the shoulder blades, maybe here. Good, and then you might feel like when you reach one arm up, that hip wants to come up. So press into that same side foot, so the hip also lifts up. So both the shoulder and the hip lifting. That's it. Keep going from side to side. And notice especially the moment that your spine is peeling back to the ground. How does that feel to land again on the ground? So there's that sense of reach and then melt back to the ground. In all the segments of your spine, how does that feel? Good. And then you can rest your arms in any place you like to rest them for a moment. Maybe arms wide. And bring your knees into your chest without the hands, just the knees coming in. And now you can roll with your legs, with your hips from side to side. So the knees swing over gently to one side. And what would it be like to allow the head to go in the opposite direction of your knees? Okay. And then you can come back to center. The feet can come down. Your arms can come down next to your hips, palms facing down. And then rocking your knees in a small movement from left to right. So very small, just a little left, a little right with your knees. And letting the head again maybe go the opposite direction of your knees. Disentangling tensions from the back of the neck. And coming to center. So I'm gonna give you a bit of essential oil. If you like. Do you like essential oil? Yeah? Can I give it into your hand? A little drop. And then you can rub your hands together. So you're putting some essential oil. And placing the hands over your face at a distance, so you're just breathing in for a moment the fragrance of the oil. And then rubbing again the hands. And one more time, place the hands over your face. And then next, place your fingertips behind your head. So you're resting with the base of your head onto your finger pads, the fingerprints. And let your head roll gently from side to side onto your hands. And giving a little massage maybe here to the very base of your skull. Good. And then with one hand you can reach for one top of the shoulder and give your top of your shoulder a little massage. And the side of the neck. And then onto the other side. Massaging the other shoulder. Good, and then bring your hands onto your belly. And breathing in and out of your lower back and lower belly for a few moments. So you're inviting the breath down into your lower body again. Each exhale, the navel slowly drops back to the spine. And then you can next slide your knees wide and slide the feet all the way down. Turning your palms up to facing the ceiling. And come for a few moments into Shavasana shape. Coming to a place of rest. Allow there to be a little space between your upper and your lower lips. letting the breathing just float in and out with ease. Allow the weight of your head to drop into the space behind the head. The weight of your legs and arms drop into the space of the mat and the floor. And letting the body settle bit by bit, further and further into a place of rest. Just letting yourself fully soften through your whole body. Enjoying that feeling of relaxation. And feel that in that open, soft space, you can allow yourself to embody and to inhabit the entire territory of your body, from top to bottom, from bottom to top, from left to right, from right to left, from front to back, and from back to front, from the surface all the way to the very core and the depth, from the very depth within the core all the way to the surface. Feel that you are inside the entire spaciousness of this internal territory of yours. That you can take space within that territory. And you're resting in that sense of being at home, in that internal spaciousness that you are. You are that space. And when you're ready, you can slowly prepare for one more slightly longer and deeper inhale and exhale. Letting go into the spaciousness within one more time. And you can slowly begin to move your toes and fingers. Prepare your own time to roll over to one side and to stay there, maybe for a few moments, just resting on your side. Whenever you feel ready to come up, you can slowly journey back to an upright position. Feel what you feel. Meet yourself here for those few more moments, really being completely present with everything that is there right now in your field of awareness, in your field of your felt sense of what is alive and present. What is it like to breathe now? And then you can join your hand. And let's take one more inhale together here. And exhale. If you wish, you can release your spine forward. And inhale brings you slowly back up. Namaste.